Welcome to the PotrBlog site, October 23rd, 2014. The usual situation in San Juan, Puerto Rico. A Veterans Administration hospital has ordered the emergency installation of HEPA air filters to create a multi-person Ebola quarantine ward. Now, this is the Federal Biz Ops solicitation for this order. We have a link to this on our website, so you may read it directly. You notice here it says unusual and compelling urgency. Actually, it calls it an emergency as we read down into it. Go to the one spot where it gives you a really good idea what's going on here. So this situation is considered an emergency and prompt action is required. Delaying repair will create a situation where an outbreak of Ebola may happen to patient, guest, or employees. And we've summed it up over here. Basically what's going on here is they're expecting, and let me zoom in on this just a little bit, make it a little bit easier to read. They're expecting a near-term arrival of a number of Ebola patients, and it's creating an entire Ebola ward as a result to handle the infected patient inflow. Now, it's unclear if Puerto Rico is the de facto, quote, leper colony for U.S. servicemen who are going to become infected with Ebola as they're serving in Africa via Operation United Assistance, or if this is purely for a Puerto Rican Ebola outbreak. Now, the hospital is fearful that the airborne spread of Ebola out of their quarantine ward will create a situation where an outbreak of Ebola may happen to patient, guests, or employees. They've categorized this as an emergency situation, and then they've awarded a no-bid emergency contract to install the HEPA filters in the ward's return air HVAC ducting. And basically what it sounds like they're concerned about here is that there's going to be airborne Ebola in this ward, and the air ducts are going to suck it into the HVAC system, and it's going to spread it around the rest of the hospital, and guests and patients will become infected with Ebola. So that's why they're installing this HEPA filter system. Now, based on the document, this is a map of the facility. It's going to be installed, the ward is actually in the second floor of this building, building 8. And that actually means it's one of these larger areas down here. Best we can make out. Now, here's some quotes from it. It's considered an emergency. Emergency installation serves Ward 2K, the South Tower, for the return air system, for the creation of a ward to attend suspected patients with the Ebola virus that have to be quarantined. It just goes on and on. Yeah. I think what most people don't realize is exactly how infectious Ebola is. And we cover this in some very much detail in this second video here. But aerosolizing one drop of blood of Ebola-infected drug contains enough virus to infect 500,000 people. In terms of a room size, if you aerosolized one drop of Ebola-infected blood, one person sneezing that drop, worst case, could make a 1,104 square foot room infected, such that stepping into that room and taking one breath and then leaving would be enough to infect you with Ebola. So, as we said, it's unusual, especially the compelling urgency. Not clear what's going on here. Why Puerto Rico? Hard to say, but the fixation on the HEPA and the airborne aspect from the VA is very interesting. Seems to be more than what the CDC is publicly calling for.